Okay, what's going on? We're going to take what we did last video and just extend it, okay? Here's the first problem. You don't have to write it all down if you don't want to. It's on the document too. Given that -4 is one of the solutions of the equation x to the third power plus 6x to the second power plus 5x equals 12, or minus 12 equals 0, find the other solutions. Now I'm going to repeat that. -4 is one of the answers to x to the third plus 6x to the second plus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Find the other solutions. Okay, now the equation has 3 answers. And you can write this wherever, but there's 3 answers. One of the answers they give me is -4. So when I've given one of the answers, spoon-fed it, to find the other 2, you need to use your synthetic division. That's the L. And -4 is going to be your divisor, excuse me. Now the dividend is the equation, the coefficients from the expression on the side of the equation that equals 0. So you got 1, +6, +5, and -12. Now perform your synthetic division. So now you have, drop the 1. 1 times -4 is -4. Then you add 6 plus -4 is 2. Remember, every number I drop gets times by -4. 2 times -4 is -8. It goes here, not here. 5 plus -8 is -3, and then -3 times -4 is 12. Okay, and then I get 0. So that's your remainder. If the remainder is 0, you should get remainder zeros on all these. All right, now that 1. Now instead of it being x to the third, it's x to the second, which means we now have a quadratic equation with 2 answers. Plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, now I make my discriminant to see if I should factor or use a quadratic formula. B squared minus 4ac. Okay, you've seen that before. So a, b, c. So b is 2, and then 4, a is 1, c is -3. Now you can plug it into your calculator, which I will be doing on the rest of these problems. You get 4, so I know it's a whole number, so I should factor, okay? If you want to do it the long way, 2 raised to the second is 4. 4 times 1 times -3 is -12, plus, that square root of 16, which of course is 4, okay? So it doesn't, that 4 doesn't mean anything really, it's just, what means something is that it's a whole number. So, I'm going to factor, so GCF and table. 1, 2, and 3, GCF would just be 1. The n term does not have x, don't put x. And a is positive, so it ends up just as 1. So 1 times -3 is -3. So it's a positive times a negative. We're trying to add to get +2. So 3 divided by 1 is 3. Now, that's going to be the numbers. 1 plus -3 is -2. I need +2, so I go +3 minus 2. Okay, now A up there looks like it's 1. 1x to the second. So let's ditch the 1, we don't need the 1. And then x second is written as x times x. So I make just 2 parentheses with x and x. -1 plus 3 equals 0. Now that I've rewritten this in factored form, I now have f1, f2, and it takes me to my final 2 answers. So x minus 1 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0. So I add 1, that's 1. Then I minus 3, I get -3. So 4, 1, -3. Okay, next problem. Given that 8 is one of the solutions of the equation x third minus 2x squared minus 40x minus 64 equals 0, find the other solutions. So there's 3 answers. One of them they give to me. They say it's 8. sweep, okay? So I make my L, and 8's a divisor. So I have 1, -2, -40, -64. Okay, I drop the 1, you always drop that first one down, and then 1 times 8 is 8. Put it there, not here. You need to add it to -2. It's going to be 6. 6 times 8 is 48. It's 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And I get 0 as my remainder, okay? So now, what I have is 1, but instead of x third, it's x second, plus 6x, plus 8 equals 0. Okay, now, ABC, now it's a quadratic equation, so I apply the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. Anytime I have x squared, x, and constant, that's how we roll. Okay, so B is 6, A is 1, C is 8. Okay, you can punch into the calculator like this. Okay, obviously that's a whole number, or you can square that, 36. 4 times 1 times 8 is 32, and that's the square root of 4, and that's equal to 2. Alright, so we're going to factor A, B, C, so GCF and the trinomial table. Okay, A equals after we find it. We know we're going to find something. So I proved it here. That tells you that you want to factor. 1, 6, and 8 is 1. C at the end, the last term has an X, okay? So ditch that. 1 times 8 is 8, positive. So the signs have to match, okay? But they should probably match as positive because he's got to add to positive 6. So 8 divided by 1 is 8. No, that's 9. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bingo. Plus 2 plus 4. It times to 8. It adds to positive 6. A up there, 1x second. So anytime we have 1, we forget it, and x squared is x times x. Good old x times x. 2 parentheses, xx plus 2 plus 4, f1, f2. So x plus 2 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0. And that's going to take me to my two zeros or solutions. So -2. -4, -4, -4. 8, -2, and -4. Okay, next problem. Given that 10 is one of the solutions of the equation x cubed minus 2x squared minus 40x minus 64, find the other solutions. So 10 x cubed minus 2x squared minus 40x minus 64. Wait a second, I gotta check the thing. I gotta check my document. I don't think that's right. The problem, I mean. Sorry about this, guys, wasting your time. Don't think I wrote that down right. Maybe I did. Sorry, that's the wrong problem, okay? The equation is 4x cubed minus 25x squared minus 154x plus 40 equals 0, okay? 4x to the third minus 25x to the second minus 154x plus 40 equals 0. So there's 3 answers, and 10 is one of them. So I synthetically divide by 10. So I have 4, -25, -154, and 40. So I drop the 4. 4 times 10 is 40. I add, That's 15. 15 times 10 is 150. I add, it's going to be negative 4. Negative 4 times 10 is negative 40. I add, and I get remainder 0. So now the equation is 4x to the second minus 25, or excuse me, 4x to the second plus 15x minus 4 equals 0. That's a 15 in the middle. 4x squared plus 15x minus 4 equals 0. Now it's an ABC quadratic now, so I apply the discriminant. Okay, so second x squared, double parentheses. You got to have your own parentheses. You can't just rely on the one they took. So b is 15, a is 4, and c is negative 4. Get the 4 in as a negative on that c. Otherwise, you're going to end up with bad news. Okay, whole number. That's good. Okay. I already showed you how to do it the long way. So, I know I'm factoring. So GCF table. 4, 15, and 4 would just be in the first row on the table. Last term C doesn't have X, so A is positive, so out. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, so we're talking about a positive times a negative. It's got to add to positive 15. Well, 1 and 16 right away, if I take 1 plus negative 16, that's negative 15. I need positive 15, that's easy to do, plus 16 minus 2. Now let's check out the A up there. It's 4x to the second. Well, I got bad news for you. You can't get rid of a 4. You need to make 2 sets of parentheses and lead off with 4. The x to the second is x times x. And minus 1 plus 16. 4 and 1 would just be divided by 1, which would keep it the same. 4 and 16 in the multiplication table, it's in the 4th row. So it would be x or 1x plus 4. So I've rewritten this in factored form. I have factored that expression. Now factor 1, factor 2. So 4x minus 1 could equal 0. 1x plus 4 could equal 0. So add 1, 4x equals 1, divide by 4, 1/4. Minus 4, that would be negative 4. Just ditch your 1 or divide, so negative 4. Okay, next one, let's see if your idiot teacher wrote it down right. X to the, given that 9 is one of the solutions of the equations 2x to the third minus 10x squared minus 71x minus 9 equals 0. Find the other two solutions. So same deal. And 9 is the first solution. Okay. So I synthetically divide by 9 and we line up 2, negative 10, negative 71, and negative 9. Now drop your 2. 2 times 9 is 18. That's 8. 8 times 9 is 72. That's 1. 1 times 9 is 9. You get remainder 0. Okay, so now that 2 that used to be 2x to the third, now it's 2x to the second plus 8x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, it's going to shake out a little bit differently. Hold on a second, I got to find something in my notebook here. I hope I can find it. If I can't, copy. Okay, I found it. Never mind. Okay, so b squared minus 4ac. You apply that because that tells you if you would factor or use the quadratic formula. So b is going to be 8. And then a is going to be 2. And c is going to be 1. So second square root. You need 8 to the second minus 4, 2, 1. Okay, that means we can't factor. Okay, when I get something like that. Now you might want to put down what that equaled, because we're using the quadratic formula, and this is part of the quadratic formula. So, opposite of b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the opposite of b is negative 8. 2 times a, it's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. Now this whole square root, we've already figured out that that's 7.48, okay? So set up your plus minus. You got negative 8, 7.48, and then 4 on the bottom. So we will take negative 8 plus 7.48 equals, then divide by 4, negative 0.13. That's an approximate answer, not exact. Then I take negative 8 minus 7.48, divide by 4, negative 3.87. Now, that's one way to do it. That's the way most people are going to do it, I have a feeling. But another way you can do it, this is the same problem, okay, is if you think this is fun, do it, okay? You can figure that out the long way. Minus 64, 4 times 2 times 1 is 8, and that'd be 56. And you can do square root simplifying. This divides by 4, and you get 14. So that's 2 square root 14. So this whole thing, instead of the decimal, you could write 2 square root 14. Then you protect the 14, and then 8, 2, and 4 all can be divided by 2. You protect the 14. It doesn't count. But these outside 2, you can all divide those by 2. So that'd be 4, excuse me. That would be 1, and that'd be 2. And you could write your answer as 4 plus 1 square root 14 over 2. You can't add because the square root blocks the adding when you do this. Then 4 minus 1 square root 14 over 2. You can't add and subtract if you do it that way. You leave it as a complex answer instead of an approximate answer. Okay? Okay, now, next 2 problems. This one's a little bit different, but it works the same way. It's the same exact process, just written differently with different phrases. Given that x plus 3 is a factor of the equation f of x equals 2x to the third plus 3x to the second minus 8x plus 3, find the other zeros of the function. Now, finding zeros of a function is the same as having that equal to 0. It means the function equals 0. So there are 3 solutions. Now, the first one, you have to take that x plus 3 and set it equal to 0 real quick and solve it, okay? So that'd be negative 3. And now you carry out the process exactly in the same manner. 2, 3, negative 8, 3. Drop the 2 down. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Then we add. That takes me to negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. We add, that's 1, and then 1 times negative 3 is 3. So I got a remainder of 0. Okay, now, instead of 2x to the third, now you have 2x to the second. Minus 3x plus 1 equals 0, and you have ABC. So it's b squared minus 4ac to see if I need to factor or use quadratic formula. B is negative 3, and then A is 2, C is 1. Remember, if you want to do it the long way, I've done several problems where I do it the long way. Okay, I came up with a whole number, so factoring would be the way to go, not the quadratic formula. I want it factored if it can be factored. GCF-T. So GCF 2, 3, and 1's 1. Don't put x, so it's just 1. Okay, 2 positive, so we're adding to negative 3. So negative, negative. How about 1 and 2? Yep, right there. See, these times, when you times negative 1 and negative 2, you get 2. That should be the number on top. When you add them, you get negative 3. Okay, what's your A? You should be writing that down every time you find the numbers off the chart. A is 2x squared. So a 2 means we need to map out 4 parentheses. So I lead off with 2, and the x squared is x times x. So that will stay the same. Anytime it's got 1 in it, it stays the same. Guys, don't leave that the same. You divide it by 2. Become x minus 1 or 1x minus 1. And I've rewritten that in factored form. So f1, f2. So 2x minus 1 could equal 0. 1x minus 1 could equal 0. So plus 1, 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. You get 1/2. Then plus 1, 1x equals 1. You can divide by 1 or get rid of it. It's 1. -3, 1/2, and 1. Okay, now the last problem is a little bit of an application. Find the other dimensions of the cube. You're given one dimension as x plus 4, and I drew a nice beautiful cube on the document. See, there it is. This is the expression of the volume. Okay, 2x to the third plus 7x to the second plus 46x plus 40. You're going to set up a division problem, and you're going to take the volume 2x cubed plus 17x squared plus 46x plus 40, and you're going to divide by x plus 4. How are you going to get two dimensions on that? You'll soon find out. Okay, so my dividend is 2, 17, 46, and 40. Now the divisor, I take this and I have to set it equal to 0 to find out what I would divide by, which would be -4, not 4. Drop your 2. 2 times -4 is -8. 9 times -4 is -36. 10 times -4 is -40, and you get remainder 0. So now, what do we have? We have 2, instead of 2x third, it's 2x squared plus 9x plus 10, and just set it equal to 0. Actually, you don't even need to set it equal to 0. You just factor it, okay? I mean, you can go to your, so B, 9, and then 2 and 10. And these problems do factor, okay? Because the parentheses are your answer here. You're not going to draw out what the 3 x's. Okay, 1, so I'm good. So GCF and trinomial t-table. Okay, 2, 9, and 10, GCF's 1. Doesn't have x, so out. 2 times 10 is 20, positive. So the signs have to match. Given the fact they have to add the +9, they should probably match as positives. 1 and 10, 20 doesn't work. 2 and 10, that's 12. 3 is a decimal. How about 4 and 5? Aha. Okay, your A up there is a 2x squared, so we got to pay attention to the 2. So 2x, 2x, and then plus 4, plus 5. Now that divides by 2, so it becomes x or 1x plus 2. And this would stay the same, 2x plus 5. Now, these are actually your answers. So if you have x plus 4 there, and it doesn't matter what, this could be the 1x plus 2, and this could be the 2x plus 5. It doesn't ask to specify the dimension. Those are your other dimensions. So in that instance, getting down to the final parentheses are your answers. Okay? I don't think one of those is on the assignment. I think it's just the first ones I did. Okay, one of the problems you have to use a quadratic formula, one of the 4. The other 3 will factor. Use your b squared, square root of b squared minus 4ac to find out.